Today on Squally Heifer Adventures, we finally get around to tackling this mainsail problem I've had pretty much since I bought the boat. And the first part of this little clip here showing I have always had trouble raising this mainsail. It would get hung up, it would get caught, and I just had problems with it. So what I did is I started actually changing different items on it. Okay. I got all the old slugs out. You can actually tell they've got quite a beating on them. So, don't know if that was what's really been giving me a tough time or not. But, put new slugs on all the way up. So, hopefully that'll work. Well, the sail slugs did not work, and I continued having problems raising the main. It's always been one of those little issues with me. One of the things that would always happen is when I would raise the mainsail, the battens would like to flip over on the lazy jacks, and they would get hung up on the outside of them. Or when I'm sailing, the lazy jacks were very stiff, and it really wouldn't let the sail come out the way it wanted to. So I said, well, let's change out the lazy jacks. Okay, there we go. It's already on. Check this out. Oh yeah. That sail wants to get hung up on this. We'll actually have some give. Like it. I got them just tied off over here. Put a surgeon's knot on it, and then I had some excess, so I just wrapped it around. And so yeah, that should last a while. Easy enough to replace when the shock cord goes bad. Alright. Now while the shock cords actually helped a little bit raising it up and keeping it from getting hung up, the other problem I was still having was raising it. It was getting stuck. Sometimes it'd be halfway up the mast, 3/4, a little bit. It would just get stuck at different times. So finally I said, you know what? It's time to do the halyards. We'll go ahead and do the mainsail halyard and the jib halyard.
Take two. So we went the wrong way. This was the bitter end, right, where we pull in the cockpit. This was the side that used to have the halyard shackle, and this is the side we need to pull from because this is the bitter end. And then on the other side here, I have the halyard shackle already spliced, so I have to come from this direction. Did this one a little different. I had to put some rigging tape when I cut the rope so it wouldn't splay, and then I just went up and down a few times. And that's actually pretty strong. It should go right over without having to lose our rope. Alright, so let's try this again.
You'll have to excuse the really bad video here because my GoPro wasn't working and I was having to do everything with one hand and my phone just to get some video going.
Here's our splice.
Here it goes.
Over the pulley. And we made it. So, this is the old one right here. Now, all we need to do is keep pulling until that halyard shackle comes back. And there we go. Let's go ahead and put that in our sail right now. Lock that into place before we lose our halyard shackle. And there you go. Your halyard line ready to go. So let's go ahead and pull this one up and through. And I already have it spliced on the other side with the new Ron stand shackle. So it's ready to go, spliced up, nice and pretty. And let's get this one up. Alright, so we got our bidder in, wasn't taken care of. And then let's go ahead and pull it. And then it should come up right here. And then there's our splice. Just some duct tape and a couple of sewn wraps to keep it together as it goes up and around the pulley. And let's take it up. And it made it. Do it more. And we got it. All the way up and around. So this is our head sail. And there we go. Got our head sail up front. We can tie this down. And there it is, guys. That's how you replace your halyards when you don't want to climb the mast and you don't want to pull it down.
The halyards made the biggest difference. They were 5/16 line, and what was already being used as a halyard was a 3/8 line. And the clutches are only designed for a 5/16 max. So the halyards were too big for what was being used. And then I looked it up on the compact site for the owner's manual, and it also stated that 5/16 is what should be used for the halyards. So I think that somebody put those 3/8 lines on there, and they were a little too big for the pulleys, they were too big for the clutches, and I think that was also part of my problem of it getting hung up.
Wind's coming from the south. Get my clutches open here. Get rid of the one I don't need. This is my reefing line. I don't need that. Throw that over there. Let's go ahead and release the main. And let it flow what it wants. But one thing I have noticed that with the shock cord, it doesn't hold it up quite as much, but it's going to be good enough for us. So as you can see how it wants to fly out to the outside, which is no big deal because the one thing that does tend to catch up on us is right here where it comes through here. Now this does seem to catch. I will have to fix that gate, but beyond that gate, my reefing point's not going to stop me. And it's not. Look at that. So, that definitely was a lot easier. And some of the fights I've been doing, I really have been fighting this thing to get it up. I really have been. It's been an absolute mess.
Well, you can't do all this work for the mainsail and not get a new mainsail cover for it. My old one was old and falling apart, cracked. I was having to sew patches in it every single time I got it. But this one here was a little cheap one. It was like I got it on sale. It was $100. I got it for sale for like 60 bucks. And I had a notch and reinforced the sides for the lazy jacks, as you can see right there, which is no big deal. But I did not like the way it was hanging, so what I had to do is I actually had to put some snaps into it. Now this snap kit, I got the stainless steel one here for these little snaps, so that they should be good. And I want to say these pliers, this whole little kit was like $30, yeah. And it works really good. You just put each one on there, you give it a crimp, it stops itself, so that way you actually get the snaps on both sides. And my thought process is once I can snap it in on both sides, then I won't have that big hanging open bottom that you saw in that earlier clip right there. So I went ahead and punched holes throughout the bottom, and I put all the snaps on there, and as you can see I reinforced the two sides where I cut it out for the lazy jacks. And then after that, what I had to do is cut off those actual straps that came with the mainsail. So what I did is I went ahead and brought out my little power generator, hooked it up to my rope cutter, and I used it to actually cut the straps off of the generic mainsail cover and seal them up, because I have the snaps now, so I don't need these straps hanging down, when the snaps are actually going to seal the cover up completely and let it touch without leaving an open bottom on it. And that worked out extremely well. And now here's the final cover for the mainsail. I got a snap up on top, and you can see I got the snaps on the bottom. No big gaps. The little cuts that I put in there to reinforce around the lazy jacks. And so yeah guys, I got this thing on sale for like 60 bucks. I paid like $30 for that little snap tool, so for like 100 bucks I got me a good mainsail cover. If it lasts a couple years, I'll be ahead of the game here.
And so I think I finally fixed my mainsail issue. Yeah, I mean I've had issues with this mainsail almost since day one, and I was just process of elimination, thinking it was the slugs, and then I was always having trouble raising it, and it was getting caught on my lazy jacks, and those shock cords really help. I know the shock cord's not going to last as long as you know, like a New England rope stay set, but for as cheap as it was, I mean, heck, I'll just pull that little section out and put a new section in. That's no big deal. And then now that I got the new halyards, oh, those things are nice too. Yeah, and they even fly through the clutches easier. It's not like as rough as a pole as I was actually having before. So now that I actually have the right size line in the clutch, that really helps. So yeah, I mean I've done a new mainsail line, new travelers. I've got new jib sheets. I've got new halyards now. I redid my reefing points. I did those. My boom bang, that's a new Marlowe also on that one. My tie downs, I pretty much got all new lines on here. This was original. I cleaned it up for my tiller clutch. I cleaned it, so it was still a good line. But right now I'm thinking I might just for the heck of it at this point is get another a reefing line. So that red one is original, and heck, at this point I got new lines everywhere else. Might as well just finish that off. and get me a new line right there.
Well, that's been my adventure in fixing my mainsail to get it up and down the mast properly. So as always, if you've made it this far, like, subscribe, and we'll see you out on the next water adventure to come.